I want to jump to the book a little bit because Missy and I have both written books and we've had our own experiences. Mine was after I retired. Yours was during.
Yeah.
So what was that process like? How did it feel emotionally? I want to hear it all.
Yeah, well, as you know, given how I had to clear some of my storage on my computer to be able to do this interview, I do not delete anything from, photos to text to emails. I guess I am a little better with photos, but I have the emails that I sent my parents from the London Olympic Village, after opening ceremony, writing to them, highlight of my life, like best night of my life, things like that. So I loved looking back at those. I have all these journals from my swimming career. That was kind of something that I relied on a lot, and that was something that was really fun. It was fun to go through all of those, pick out the major things, see how my thinking evolved, how my journaling style evolved. I mean, I explain this in the book, but I started journaling in 2012, early in 2012, because Yuri didn't feel like I was communicating very well with him about when I wasn't feeling well and how I was feeling in the water. So he handed me this composition notebook, the kind you would use in school, and said, Katie, you're going to keep this journal. You got to write the main set from practice, maybe something good you did that day, something special you did that day at practice, and rate your overall wellness, your nutrition, and your sleep. So it's on a scale of 1 to 10. And then at the end of the week, I had to give the notebook back to him, and he would write back a note to me. It was, encouraging, or you had a great practice this day, we're this number of days out from Olympic trials, you're doing a great job, keep it up, things like that. But the funniest part about it is my very first journal entry, which I think was maybe 160 days from trials or something. It was like the bare minimum, like date, the main set, and then, okay, wellness 10, nutrition 10, sleep 10. And next to nutrition, I wrote something to the effect of, had an apple before practice. And I'm like, looking back on this, like, I just wanted Yuri to think that I was doing everything great. We were on this great track. And so that was my first entry, and now it's evolved to, during COVID, I was writing down every single thing I was doing every day. Like FaceTime with this person, class, virtual class, FaceTime with mom, class, FaceTime with mom again, watch the news. Like I just was a little more detailed, and then, wrote down some of my emotions during that time. And now, I write what I'm doing now, even when I'm not swimming. So it's something that I love. I love to have. I love to look back on it. I think it's such a great tool in training to look back at, times you were going all year in the lead up to a big meet. Gives me a lot of confidence, those kinds of things. So it was never something I thought I would get to use. So it was really great through this process to use those for something more than something for myself. I got to share some of those things that I had written down, and I got to go back through some old family history, some old photos. You discover so many things. I don't know if you guys felt that when you're writing the book, but you find photos that you've never seen of yourself, of grandparents.
That was a rough year.
Yeah, and you get, you get to laugh at a lot of those things. So, in many ways, it was a great exercise all year in an Olympic year too, just to reflect on the journey. I mean, I think that's something that I was told back in 2012 when I was on my first team, to enjoy the journey, enjoy the process. And
Mm-hmm.
I think going through this book writing process this year, I was able to kind of lay out this journey that I've had and appreciate it, and um, kind of see step by step, and try to reflect on, what was it that led to this outcome this year, or I don't know about you two, but um, I always get the question like, "What's your secret?" Or my parents growing up would get asked like, "What do you feed your kids?"
Yeah.
It's like I get to answer all these things, and I can kind of lay out all the different people that have supported me. That there is no secret, there's no shortcut. It's taken a lot of hard work. You get to kind of lay out for everyone, especially I think the non-swimming crowd that
Mm-hmm.
maybe doesn't understand the sport and the training behind it, kind of what goes into it. Um, so yeah, I think it just made me recognize that I have so many people that have been a part of this, and that's why so many of the chapters are named after family
Yeah.
members or coaches, or um, of course, some of the places and meets that were stepping stones, but yeah, a large part of it is about the people.
That's a huge part of it. And
Yeah.
I don't want to give everything away because you guys need to go read the book for
Yeah.
yourselves. But some of my favorite journal entries that you included were from the COVID year. And I was just
Mhm.
like so insanely impressed by the way you were talking to yourself during that time. And so that was just something I thought was really cool in a time period where for a lot of athletes, it was the worst possible case scenario.
Yeah.
And, you and Simone are swimming in a backyard pool, and just the way that you were journaling at that time and the way that you were able to seriously take it one day at a time in a period that just I can't even imagine. That just really hit home for me